woke up an NBA champion today. And if you're a Heat fan with me, who you probably are if you're watching today's show, you also woke up a champion. In today's, we are going to talk about the winners and losers after Heat Summer League. 9 games played, 6 in Las Vegas, 3 in Sacramento for the California Classic. There was a lot of players that performed well, some players that performed not so well, and it's time to dive into the latest winners and losers after the 9 Summer League games. But are you fired up? You should be. The Heat are Summer League champions, so hit that thumbs up button. Show some love to the champs down in South Beach as they went into Las Vegas and went a perfect 6-0, defeated the Grizzlies in OT thanks to Pelle Larsson's game-winning floater. Josh Christooher played extremely well. We'll talk about those two guys later on in the show, but hit that thumbs up icon if you're fired up for the Heat winning the Summer League championship. All right, the first winner that we're going to talk about today, Kel'el Ware, the first-round pick out of Indiana, just absolutely showcased why he was deserving of the 15th overall pick. The former Indiana center did everything that you could possibly want if you're a Heat fan. He displayed the ability to rebound. He displayed the ability to finish at the rim, shoot the three ball a little bit. He even rejected some shots. He had a game where he had 4 steals. He did a little bit of everything, and we're only going to look at the Las Vegas Summer League stats. I'm not accounting for the California Classic games, which is why you might see different averages for Ware online. But in Las Vegas, he averaged 18 points a game, 8 rebounds, had a double-double, and I believe 4 or 5 out of the 6 games he played. Also blocked 1.5 shots a game while shooting 62% from the field. His three-point percentage started off hot. He started shooting 40%. Through the first 3 games of Heat Summer League, struggled a little bit down the stretch, but he was still really, really good, man, and he has the foundation to be a starting caliber center in the NBA, and I'll even say he has this foundation to be an elite center in the NBA. He's got size, 7 feet tall, 7'4.5" wingspan. He's got quick leaping ability, the ability to jump on a second jump, which is so important in the NBA when you can't get a rebound, or you do get a rebound, then you got to go right back up with it. He displays everything you'd want in an elite center. I don't think he's going to start game 1 just because there's still a long ways he has to go in terms of his defensive positioning, his fight, his conditioning, his strength, but it is all there. The building blocks are there to be a starting center in the NBA and create an elite front court with Bam Adebayo. He is 100% a winner in my book. The first loser that we're going to talk about, Zyon Pullin. This one's disappointing, man, because I know a lot of us Heat fans were excited for Zyon Pullin, the former Florida Gator, keep him in the state, hopefully have him be a point guard potentially in the future, and he currently has a 2-way contract with the Miami Heat. But I was disappointed with Zion's game during the Heat Summer League, and when he was in Las Vegas, he did not really do a lot of nice things, I'll say that. He averaged 5 points a game, didn't play a ton of minutes, only 12-13 because he got outplayed by Alondes Williams, Josh Christooher, and Isaiah Stevens. Averaged 1.7 assists a contest, but the issue here is that he averaged 1.2 turnovers. And I get it, turnovers are high in Summer League because no one knows what the hell is going on, and these players don't have a lot of rapport, if you will, of playing with each other. But 1.2 turnovers to 1.7 assists for someone who is floated out and kind of advertised as a really good playmaker was not good to see. Shot 64% from the field in limited opportunities. Made every single three-pointer he took in Summer League. It wasn't a lot, but did struggle at the line a little bit, shooting 61.5%. And the turnovers is kind of where I want to go with the Zyon Pullin talk because the game looked a little fast for him. He is someone who is able to go off a pick and roll, make the right decision, skip pass, but there are times that he tried to do those type of moves where he would try to throw a needle or skip it across the court in a half-court set, and the opposing players are just more athletic in the NBA. And I know it's Summer League, and you're still playing a lot of people that you were playing in college, but some guys are also in a G League and trying to fight for a roster. These guys are different athletes than you see in the average college game, and I think that kind of caught up to him a little bit, and he was not prepared for it. Still think there could be a future for Zyon Pullin. I'd like to see him stay with the Heat and play in their G League team this upcoming year, but as a 2-way player, I don't know, and we're going to talk about that at the end of today's show. We're going to get into another winner here in just a second, but let me know who is the biggest Heat Summer League winner in your opinion. We talked about Kel'el Ware. Is it a different player, though? Drop it down in the comment section. Maybe it's Isaiah Stevens. And I did not rank the winners and losers and who I think is the biggest winner or biggest loser, but Isaiah Stevens probably is the biggest winner if we're going to be honest. Maybe Josh Christooher, who we'll talk about in a second, because Stevens went from getting an Exhibit 10 contract, which gets him a training camp invite. He can work with the Heat down in October when they get things rocking in Boca Raton, but he absolutely needs a two-way contract with the Miami Heat. Stevens, a little bit of an undersized guard, did everything you could think of and more for the Heat. Averaged damn near 9 points a game, 8 assists a contest, while shooting 59.4% from the field and an astounding 63.5% from beyond the arc. He did not take a ton of shots. He is not a score-first guard. He does the little things, though. He plays at his own pace. He plays under control, knows where his teammates are. The no-look back cuts that he was able to find to Pelle Larsson, Keshad Johnson at times, Josh Christooher, was very, very impressive. And then he was able to throw perfect lobs as well, which is something Miami could use for Bam and Kel'el Ware. And I know this might strike a nerve. I've seen some people talk about it on Heat Twitter yesterday, and I completely agree, and I have to say it myself. He kind of looks like a mini Kyle Lowry. And I know Lowry is going to strike a nerve for some Heat fans out there, but Stevens, 23 years old, coming out of Colorado State, a little bit undersized, barely 6 feet tall, 6'1" with shoes on probably. The way he positions himself defensively, offensively, the way he's confident in his three-point shot where he can step behind a screen and light it up, but also drive inside and find a cut. I think he looks like Kyle Lowry. And Lowry, obviously having a distinguished long career in the NBA, I'm not saying Stevens will do that. Who knows how he'll perform when he gets matched up with actual NBA talent. But I think the possibilities are endless with Stevens, and I'd love to see him on a two-way contract with the Miami Heat this upcoming season. Which brings me to Dru Smith, who is a clear loser, in my opinion, in Summer League. And you might be asking, well, how can Dru Smith be a loser if he didn't even play in Summer League? Well, it's because there's no reason to keep Dru Smith. There isn't. After watching Summer League, why in the world would the Miami Heat keep Dru Smith on a two-way contract after watching Josh Christooher play, after watching Isaiah Stevens play, watching Keshad Johnson play? There's other players as well. I'd rather keep Zyon Pullin, even though I think he's a loser and he disappointed, on a two-way contract over Dru Smith. He's been in the league for so long, and sure, he was a little bit of a rotation player at the very back end of that Heat bench last year before he got unluckily injured against the Cleveland Cavaliers for the season. There still isn't a reason to keep Dru Smith. I don't want to bash the guy. Seems like a good dude, but in the grand scheme of things, why would you keep him when you have other guys coming out of college and are more youthful that could potentially be a bigger impact for this Heat team in the future? It makes no sense to keep Dru Smith. It does make a lot of sense, though, to get started with the best ticketing app on the market, and that is Game Time. Shout out to Game Time for sponsoring today's show. They're the best way to get tickets, whether you want to go to a Miami Heat game when the season comes up, or you want to go to a Marlins game right now. Hey, Dolphins football's starting up. Preseason, regular season, you can go there. Comedy shows, concerts, it does not matter. You can get any type of ticket you want with Game Time. My favorite part about Game Time, the deals that they have for you. Last-minute tickets and flash deals. You get zone deals as well. You can see your vantage point when you're buying your ticket. It's the only way I get tickets. When I went to the Heat game back in February when they came to Dallas, did I use Game Time? You bet I did. I love using them, and right now you can get $20 off your first purchase when you download the app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. Yes, you heard that correctly. You're going to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Doesn't matter what event you want to go to, they'll have you hooked up. It will be in the description and comments where you can click on that, or just download the app with the big white G with the black box. All right, moving on here with winners and losers. Josh Christooher is a winner, and there's just absolutely no way you can justify him not being a winner. And I'll put hand up on the play, folks. I was absolutely stunned by the ability that Josh Christooher showed. He's been around the league, former first-round pick by the Houston Rockets. He was waived, then went to Utah, was waived, found his way onto the Sioux Falls Heat G League team last season near the end of the year, and then kind of kept that momentum rolling into Summer League. He was unbelievable. Top 15 in points per game at Summer League. He was the Summer League champion MVP, averaged nearly 20 points a game while shooting 52.5% from three. Like, the former first-round pick showcased elite three-point shooting and shot making. Sure, did he make some dumb decisions at times? Absolutely. But he also made some ridiculously tough shots to bail out this Heat team at the end of the shot clock. And I won't forget that the Heat were able to get 2 points away from winning the title in Summer League because of Elam ending without Josh Christooher's step-back 35-footer at the top of the key that he absolutely bottomed with 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, it was a heave at the end of the shot clock, but he nailed it, and he did that all Summer League long. He also showcased solid on-ball defense, averaging 2 steals a game. And sure, steals are going to be inflated in Summer League because, like I said with Zyon Pullin, people turn the ball over left and right because they don't get used to playing with each other. But he's athletic. He's still only 22 years old. He's showcased an ability to improve his three-point shot. I think he wants to stay in Miami. He stated that. He likes the culture in the G League system. He likes it with the standard team. Get him a two-way contract. Keep him around because you could unlock a former first-round pick's talent that other teams like Houston and Utah saw in previous years. Loser, Neal Sako. This guy stinks. And I don't want to harp on him too much, but when I was just watching the Summer League games, this guy's horrible. And I feel bad for bashing the guy. Rookie, 25 years old, coming over for France, trying to make a name for himself in the NBA. It's just not going to happen. There was a couple times where he airballed a layup. Yeah. And he also airballed a couple free throws. Yeah. I know those were just in the Summer League championship game, but I don't really think he played that well in the other games either. I am not a fan of Sako. I don't think the Heat will even keep him on their G League team. I would rather have them go out and try to get different centers to get on their G League squad because to me, one look is all I needed at Neal Sako. This guy is not an NBA player. Be honest with me, though. Who is the biggest Summer League loser that played for the Miami Heat? We got one more winner to talk about and one more loser, but dropped the biggest loser. Shout out to that show, by the way. Is that still going on? I don't think so. But either way, drop your biggest Heat loser down in the comment section. Final winner we're going to talk about today is Keshad Johnson, who is currently on a two-way contract from the Miami Heat, but he deserves a standard deal. Now, will that happen? Unlikely, unless the Miami Heat trade away or make a trade where they free up a roster spot. They're not going to sign him because they can't sign someone to that 15th roster spot unless they go into the second apron. And as much as I like Keshad Johnson, they're not going into the second apron of the luxury tax to ensure he gets a spot on this roster. But he does deserve a standard deal. And I think Keshad Johnson's going to stick with Miami long term. Now, assuming he doesn't get stolen by a different team, and I think you can, like a different team could sign him during the regular season to a standard contract if they want to. But Keshad displayed defense, IQ, elite athleticism, and the energy that Miami Heat fans love, Eric Spoelstra loves, and I think Spo will absolutely love Keshad Johnson when he gets to work with him in training camp and in the preseason. I think he could easily be a Caleb Martin replacement if you're asking me. Now, do I think it'll be year one? Probably not. But year two, year three, I think it's a very high possibility with the athleticism that he displayed and the increased three-point shot that he continues to work on year in and year out. Played at San Diego State, so you know he plays in a culture that implores defense, hard work, and then also went to Arizona as was an impact transfer. Keshad Johnson is someone that will stick with the Miami Heat. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we're going to have daily coverage of the Heat, whether it be videos like this, live shows like we were for the Summer League Watch Party. Hit that sub button and stick with us here at the Heat Report because we're going to have you covered on everything you need. Final loser here, and this might shock you, Alondes Williams, I think, is a loser. And he was really good for the Heat last year on the G League team. Averaged 25 points a game, was unbelievably good at the Heat or the NBA All-Star break for the G League game, whenever that thing was. But here's my reasoning on why I think Alondes Williams is a loser. I just don't think he has a role in the NBA with how he plays because he needs the ball in his hands to get to the rim, to get shots up. I don't think he's that good of an off-ball player, and if that's the case, how is he going to find a role in the NBA? Because he doesn't have a good enough handle, and he doesn't have a good enough playmaking skills to be an NBA guy, an on-ball dude. And unless he finds a way to refine his craft and become an off-ball scorer, shooter that can leverage his shooting into athletic drives like Josh Christooher can, like I just don't see a way he can be in the NBA as a role player. Like he just doesn't have that type of build, which is fine. Some players are cut out to be role players, some players are not. I don't think Alondes Williams is, and that's kind of the reason why I think he is going to end up not in the Miami Heat system this upcoming year and not an NBA player. Which brings us to this final conversation, and we kind of floated it out throughout the show today, but I need a switch up of the two-way contracts for the Miami Heat. I think most Heat fans agree, so this is not breaking the wheel or changing anything here, but the 3 two-way players for the Miami Heat need to be Keshad Johnson, Isaiah Stevens, and Josh Christooher. I do want to make the note that two-way players can switch in and out at any time, so if Pat Riley wanted to today, he could take Dru Smith off a two-way, take Zyon Pullin off a two-way, and give Isaiah Stevens and Josh Christooher a two-way contract. I would be wary of another team who has a two-way spot open, giving Isaiah Stevens or Josh Christooher a deal. If I was Miami or Pat Riley, I would make the switch absolutely today. I know most of you Heat fans are with me, but I think it's pretty clear that these 3 guys should be the two-way contracts for the Miami Heat. Make sure you are following me over on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff because we're talking Heat basketball on a daily basis. Heat highlights, news, rumors, anything you need. Go give me a follow at Nic_Rohloff. I'll see you in the video tomorrow. Go Heat.